Robinhood started in 2013, right? On the heels of a recession that made a lot of people very uncertain and nervous about their finances. And it was a time where it wasn't really easy for people to get started with maybe taking active steps in their financial life. So our founders, Beju and Vlad, started the company with the hopes that more people could have access to financial markets and that we could democratize finance for all. We want to build products that help the next generation of investors take control, take an active step in their financial lives. Innovation to us is unlocking this next generation. We were the pioneers of commission-free trading. We knew that that was a barrier that people had. They wanted to invest, but they weren't sure that they could afford to. They weren't sure that this was a good decision. And so by talking to customers, we learned that, and we were able to innovate in the space and say, hey, there should be no reason why people pay commissions on trades. The same thing with account minimums or even recently, fractional shares. What we heard from a lot of people is they're interested investors, but when they saw stock prices that were really high, that started making them ask questions like, oh, is this really for me or not? And with fractional shares, you can see, again, it's an innovation that lets more people participate. They can see themselves as investors. You have $1, you can invest in that stock. We're here building a phone app and a series of services that we think make stock trading more accessible, more intuitive, simpler for people. And so we start with people. Almost every project we run starts with customer research. And our goal is to just hear them in their own words and then reflect that back to them in the products that they see. It's about keeping it simple, about making something intuitive and something that they feel is familiar and maybe not scary. Education is a barrier. There's a lot of information out there in the world, and it's important for people as they get started to get a little bit of guidance, but also to know that it's trustworthy. So for us, it just made sense for us to partner with Nasdaq. We use the last sale data to power our one-day charts for companies so people know, hey, the stock market's alive, there's movement. That data is really important, especially for people who are just getting started investing. And with Robinhood Gold, we give people access to Nasdaq level 2 data, which allows them a different view onto the market, right? You get the full depth of orders on the market, you get quantities at the individual bids and asks. And for interested customers, that gives them the info that they need or the confidence they need to make decisions. And so I think for us, we're always trying to give people tools and balance that with education. And if you're first starting, the data that you might want might be simpler. We're trying to show people what high quality financial content can look like. Similarly, we make a podcast. So if you're not a Robinhood customer, but you're still interested in investing, we want to meet people where they are. We want to help them feel like finance isn't, some scary thing. It's a quick podcast. You can listen to it every morning, Robinhood's Next podcast. We send out a newsletter. And then even outside those, we're constantly producing articles that just help people take those first steps. Hey, what is a dividend? You might want to learn that. You might want to feel like you can trust where the answers come from. We think a lot about financial literacy. We think a lot about how people interact with that material, in their day-to-day life.